still remember the question that has haunted people for centuries. How could a father's favorite son become the target of his own brothers? How could love inside one family turn into jealousy so deep that brothers would stand over a dark well and choose to leave one of their own at the bottom of it? This is not just a story about betrayal. It is a story about envy, about silence, about the kind of pain that grows inside people long before anyone notices. And at the center of it all was a boy named Yusuf. He was young, he was innocent, he was loved, and that was exactly why they hated him. Before he would rise to power, before he would change the fate of an entire kingdom, before he would become one of the greatest examples of patience in history, he was just a son loved deeply by his father. And sometimes, that is enough to make people dangerous. This is the story of why Prophet Yusuf was betrayed by his own brothers, and why the boy thrown into a well would one day rise higher than all of them. Yusuf was not born into an ordinary family. He was the son of Prophet Yaqub, known in English as Jacob, a man of wisdom, patience, and deep faith. Yaqub was not just a father, he was a prophet, and he knew people, he knew hearts. He could see what many fathers fail to notice: love, jealousy, fear, pride, the quiet storms hidden inside his own home. Yusuf was one of many sons, but there was something different about him. He was gentle, pure-hearted, calm. There was a light in him, and his father saw it. Some say it was his beauty. Some say it was his character. Some say it was something even deeper, a future only Allah had planned. Whatever it was, Yaqub loved him deeply, and everyone knew it. That was the beginning of the problem, because children notice favoritism, and brothers notice it even faster, especially when love feels unequal. Yusuf had a younger brother too, Binyamin, and the two of them were especially close to their father. To the older brothers, this was not a small thing. It became a wound they fed in silence. Every smile from Yaqub toward Yusuf felt like proof. Every moment of affection became another reason to resent him. Jealousy rarely arrives loudly. It grows quietly. It starts with comparison. Why him? Why not me? Then it becomes suspicion. Father loves him more. Then resentment. He took what should have been mine. And if it is not stopped, it becomes cruelty. One day, Yusuf came to his father with something unusual. A dream. Not an ordinary dream. A dream that would change everything. He said, "Oh my father, indeed I saw 11 stars, and the sun and the moon. I saw them prostrating to me." To most people, it would sound strange. But Yaqub was not most people. He understood immediately. This dream was not random. It was a sign. A future was being shown. Something great was written for this boy, and that truth made him afraid. Not of Yusuf, of everyone else. Because people can forgive many things, but they struggle to forgive someone chosen. Yaqub looked at his son and warned him, "Do not tell your brothers about this dream." Not because dreams are dangerous, because jealousy is. He knew exactly what could happen. He knew the hearts inside that house. But Yusuf was still young. He did not yet understand how dangerous envy can be, especially when it lives inside family. Outside enemies are easier to fear, but betrayal from inside the house, that destroys differently. The brothers watched. They noticed. They compared. And eventually they said it out loud. "Yusuf and his brother are more beloved to our father than we are, while we are a strong group." Listen to that carefully. Not, "Yusuf is evil." Not, "Yusuf wronged us." No, their anger was born from love they believed they were denied. This is how jealousy lies. It convinces people that someone else's blessing is the reason for their pain. Instead of healing themselves, they decide to remove the person they envy. And once that thought enters the heart, it asks for action. The brothers gathered, not as protectors, as planners. This was not a moment of sudden anger. It was discussed, calculated. They sat together and made a decision about Yusuf's life. Some of them said, "Kill Yusuf, or cast him out to some distant land. Then your father's attention will be only for you." That sentence reveals everything. They did not want justice. They wanted attention. They wanted love. And they were willing to destroy their brother to get it. But one of them hesitated. Even in darkness, sometimes one conscience still speaks. He said, "Do not kill Yusuf. Throw him into the bottom of a well. Some travelers may pick him up." It was still betrayal, but it was less blood on their hands. And that became the plan. Imagine that moment. Brothers, the people meant to protect you, discussing the best way to erase you, and Yusuf knew none of it. He still trusted them. That may be the saddest part. The innocence, the trust before betrayal. The next step was to convince their father. That was not easy. Yaqub already sensed danger. A father's heart often knows before the mind can explain. They approached him with false warmth. "Send Yusuf with us tomorrow. Let him enjoy himself and play. We will take care of him." Sounded normal, simple. Brothers asking to spend time together. But Yaqub hesitated. He said something heartbreaking. "Indeed, it saddens me that you should take him, and I fear that a wolf would eat him while you are unaware." Notice this. He mentioned a wolf, because sometimes the mind chooses an easier fear. It is easier to imagine danger from the wilderness than danger from your own children. The brothers quickly responded, "If a wolf were to eat him while we are a strong group, then indeed we would be losers." They sounded offended, convincing, prepared. Eventually, Yaqub let him go. Maybe he hoped he was wrong. Maybe he wanted to trust his sons. Maybe love made him choose hope over fear. And Yusuf left with them. He did not know this journey would divide his life into two parts. Before the well, and after the well. First, perhaps it looked normal. A walk, a trip, brothers together. Maybe Yusuf smiled. Maybe he believed this was finally a good day. Maybe he thought things were getting better. That makes what came next even heavier. Because betrayal hurts most when it comes wearing kindness. Far from home, far from their father's eyes, the truth appeared. No more pretending, no more smiles, only intention. The brothers took him, and they brought him to the well, a deep, lonely place, dark, silent, hidden, the kind of place made for disappearance. This was where they decided his life would end, or at least the life he knew. Imagine Yusuf standing there, looking at the faces of his brothers, trying to understand, confused, afraid, asking why, maybe calling their names, maybe reminding them, "I am your brother." But jealousy has a terrifying power. It can make people stop seeing your humanity. To them, he was no longer Yusuf. He was the obstacle, and they lowered him into the darkness. Some narrations describe the terror, the loneliness, a child abandoned, no father, no mother, no brother coming back, only a well, only silence, only Allah. This is where many people break, because betrayal by strangers hurts, but betrayal by family changes your soul. And yet, this was not the end of Yusuf. This was the beginning, because destiny does not ask permission from cruelty. The same well they used to erase him would become the road to his future, but they did not know that yet. The brothers returned home, and now came the second betrayal, the lie. They came at night crying. Fake tears are often louder than real ones. They said, "Oh, our father, we went racing each other and left Yusuf with our belongings, and a wolf ate him." Then they showed his shirt, covered in false blood. Proof, manufactured proof. But lies often forget details. Yaqub looked at the shirt, and something was wrong. If a wolf had attacked Yusuf, why was the shirt untouched? No tearing, no struggle, just blood. A story trying too hard, and a father who already knew. He said words filled with pain. "No, your souls have made something seem easy to you." He knew, maybe not every detail, but enough to understand. His son was gone because of his own sons. Imagine that pain. To lose a child is devastating. To know your other children caused it, that is a different kind of heartbreak. And still, Yaqub did not explode. He did not curse them. He did not destroy the house with rage. He said, So patience is most fitting. Beautiful patience. Sabr Jamil. Not because it hurt less, but because he chose dignity in pain. That is strength people rarely talk about. Not loud strength, quiet strength. The kind that survives betrayal without becoming bitter. Meanwhile, somewhere in the darkness, Yusuf was still alive, alone, waiting, not knowing that the world above had already decided his story. But Allah had written something else. A caravan would come, travelers would stop, a bucket would be lowered, and the boy thrown away by his brothers would be pulled back into the light, not rescued by family, rescued by destiny. This is why the story of Yusuf still feels so alive today. Because it is not ancient. It is human. Families still break over jealousy. People still smile while hiding resentment. Brothers still compete. Friends still betray. People still believe removing someone else will heal their own emptiness. It never does. Envy is strange. It burns the person holding it before it reaches anyone else. The brothers thought removing Yusuf would bring peace. But peace never grows from injustice. Only regret does. And Yusuf, he teaches something powerful. Sometimes the place where people think they buried you is the exact place where your future begins. Sometimes the well is not your ending. It is your introduction. The betrayal was real. The pain was real. But so was the plan of Allah. And that plan was bigger than their jealousy. Much bigger. Because the boy left in darkness would one day stand in a palace. The child they wanted forgotten would become the man they would one day stand before, needing him, not recognizing him. History has a strange sense of justice, and Yusuf's story was only beginning, because after the well came slavery, after slavery came temptation, after temptation came prison, and after prison, power. But that is for the next chapter, because the brothers thought they were ending Yusuf's story. In reality, they had only turned the first page.